Cops are usually trusted to protect and serve the people, but sometimes they cross this line. So what happens when corrupt officers realize they've gone too far? From Jeff, the Army veteran who refused to comply with unlawful demands and recorded the encounter, to Chad McArdle, Ohio's police chief, whose aggression led to his suspension. These two stories will leave you completely speechless. Starting with the case of a man well-versed in the law, Jeff, an Army veteran, who was confronted by police officers while he was raising awareness for homeless veterans outside a local bar. The bar manager had called the police on him, leading to a situation where Jeff was asked to leave. Despite this, Jeff stood his ground, knowing his rights. He was on a public sidewalk, a place where the bar manager's authority did not extend. Jeff was adamant that he wasn't causing trouble or harm to anyone. The officers insisted that soliciting money was against city ordinances, but Jeff countered, arguing that such ordinances were unconstitutional.
Police Lieutenant Eric Furr approaches him.
You need to leave, okay? There's no panel in here. I just told you need to leave.
What's your name?
Right here. Lieutenant Furr, yes.
God bless the homeless veterans.
Okay, you need to leave.
You need to leave.
Okay. Do you want to go to jail?
The situation took a turn when Jeff began recording the encounter. In Florida, it is legal to record police officers performing their duties in public, provided the recording is done from a safe distance and does not interfere with the officer's work. This act of recording is often recommended for personal safety, especially when one feels threatened by the police. Jeff continues to stand his ground, firm in his conviction that he was placed there for a purpose. He tells the officers that he will not move until he has completed what he feels called to do. The officers are in a difficult position because Jeff is not breaking any laws by standing on the public sidewalk. They realize that forcing him to leave could be an overreach of their authority, so they try to persuade him to move on his own accord. Jeff, however, is resolute.
Okay, so I'm in Lottie, Florida. I'm filming an inmate work crew here in Lottie, Florida that was working for the city of Lottie, apparently. I'm just trying to keep track of, here it comes.
Sir, can I get you to step out of the car, please, sir?
For what reason?
Sir?
For what reason?
Can I get you to step out of the car, please?
I'll take my seatbelt off.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, put the phone down, put your hands on the car for me.
All right.
If you would, give me your left hand, please. This time you're going to be placed under arrest. All right, sir, can I get you to step out of the car for me, please, sir?
For what reason?
Sir?
For what reason?
Can I get you to step out of the car, please?
I'll take my seatbelt off.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, put the phone down, put your hands on the car for me.
The officers claim he's been asking for money, which they state gives them the right to ask him to move along. They demand identification, threatening arrest if he doesn't comply. Jeff provides only his first name, Joe, and refuses further identification. The officers detain him, claiming it's necessary for their investigation.
Anything in your pockets at all?
Not answering any questions.
All right.
He's arresting me for a disqualified license. It's disqualified, it's not suspended.
Are they valid?
They are valid, yes.
Did they come back as valid?
Disqualified or suspension after 624 Lester.
Disqualified.
What does disqualified mean to you?
It's a CDL license,
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm not driving the truck anymore.
Yes, sir.
So I tried to go get my medical. It came back as it's disqualified.
Okay,
However, my driver's license is not suspended.
okay. We'll figure it out, Wiggy.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Yes, sir.
All right.
They pat him down, checking for weapons, and find 2 magazines in his pocket. Meanwhile, a bar employee expresses discomfort with Jeff's presence, even though he hasn't been asking for money. The officers discuss the situation, acknowledging there's little they can do if Jeff isn't actually soliciting donations. It becomes clear that Jeff hasn't violated any laws. He's simply exercising his right to free speech on public property. The officers' realization that they've overstepped their bounds marks a turning point. They understand that any further action against Jeff could end their careers, as it would be a clear infringement of his constitutional rights. Now, the officer is speaking to a person who was sitting on the porch, and he confirms that he did not hear Jeff beg for money. So the only complaint against Jeff is about him standing on city property, which isn't a valid concern for the bar manager. This revelation should have resolved the situation, allowing Jeff to leave without further issue. However, there is a critical detail that has not been mentioned until now. At the time of this incident, panhandling or asking strangers for money was not illegal in the state of Florida. This means that not only was Jeff harassed and falsely arrested for an act he did not commit, but the act itself wasn't even a crime. The officers, realizing their mistake, now face the consequences of their actions. But that's nothing compared to this shirtless man who claims to have been in a brutal encounter. In the early hours of July 28th, a taxi driver faced an urgent situation when a man, later known as Chad McArdle, a police chief in Ohio, frantically knocked on his window pleading for the police to be called. McArdle alleged he had been stabbed by several individuals. However, upon the arrival of the police, his account took a sudden turn.
I literally just walked by and said I'd call.
What happened, sir?
I don't know. 3 guys drove me in the car and pulled me in the, and they drove me south. So, all right, thank you. You're the best. In the face too. You've seen. Where'd they stab you with? Right here. He hit me probably 3 or 4 times. I just called him fucking hard, and then he got me right here. So. And then good luck. Yeah, thanks, man. So, but I had a.
Do you have any idea who it is?
Dude,
you were in
Spanish,
a car?
So.
You said you were in a car with them, right?
They pulled me into a car.
They pulled you into a car.
Body camera video captures McArdle telling officers he too is a cop before explaining what he says happened.
Here's what fucked up, dude. I'm a cop. Here's my. So here's where the part. Welcome, boys. No, dude, seriously, look at it.
He described being struck multiple times and pointed to various injuries, but his story was inconsistent.
Or stabbing. So.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure I killed one of them.
You think you killed one of them?
Yeah. He started kicking me right in the fucking nose, and I was like, dude, I'm like whatever, and.
Where did you walk from? Do you
down
know?
Down here. And I started screaming out like, would you guys
show me where you walked from. Sorry. Walk with him for a second.
In the face, dude. I'm telling you, that dude right there.
He continues to describe what he claims happened.
He like came up, kicked me in the face. I was like, all right, let's fucking go. I broke the fucking branch off and started just stabbing. So, if like, I don't want dude to be dead, but don't.
Chad's interaction with the police was marked by a subtle hostility, despite the officers having no initial issues with him. It was apparent that Chad was agitated by more than just the alleged stab wounds he reported. The truth didn't take long to emerge. Chad admitted to grabbing a stick, and in the heat of the moment, he believed he might have killed one of his assailants. He recounted kicking the person in the face and then making a hasty escape. Chad didn't wish for the person to be dead, yet he also conveyed a warning to not mess with him. The officers were now faced with a scenario where their only witness was also the prime suspect. The case was complex from the start, but it took a new turn when they discovered something in the alley where the incident occurred.
Like a fight or something that's broke out?
Yeah.
You did? Come out here for me so I can see you. I'm in the alley right behind 424 Southern, and I'm out with the 77 that stated there was a fight that just took place here.
Oh, just hiding from him.
You were hiding from him?
Yeah.
So what did you hear?
I don't know. The guy just.
Was it right here? Was it over here?
It was. Well.
A man named Joe was found there. He had been hiding during the commotion. When questioned, Joe revealed that he had been standing there when suddenly he was kicked in the back. Chad's claim of being stabbed multiple times was quickly disproven, as there were no such injuries on him. The only fact the police could confirm was his assault on an innocent man in an alley. Chad, despite his years of police experience, failed to exercise his right to remain silent, potentially complicating his situation further. He's now facing a misdemeanor battery charge and has been suspended with pay from his duties in Ohio. The maximum penalty he could face is 1 year in jail and a fine of $1,000. These 2 cases are just a drop from the glass, so if you want to watch more of them, then check out the video at your right.